guys, welcome back. Since today is Monday, I'm going to be doing another top 5 countdown. First of all, before I get started, two things. You might notice that I'm starting to decorate for fall, and I like it. Be on the lookout for lots more orange and pumpkins and different things to pop up throughout the month. Also, you may notice that I am wearing a breast cancer awareness lapel ribbon. And I've also got one on my hand. Look for different iterations of this to pop up throughout the month. I'm doing this because, like most people, I know at least 2 people who either struggled with it in the past or are currently struggling with it, and I want to show my support to them. So I'm going to be wearing pink in different ways throughout the month of October. My sister went really crazy. She dyed her hair pink. I can't do that, and I can't afford to buy like 1,500 different pink articles of clothing, so I'm going to make do with what I've got. So, in keeping with the theme, today's top 5 countdown is going to be my top 5 favorite original characters in Clone Wars. Now, these are characters that we haven't seen anywhere else, except maybe in the case of one person in the old Samurai Jack style Clone Wars animated series from about 2003. Starting things off at number 5 with Hondo Ohnaka. I had to put Hondo on the list because he is one of the most interesting characters in Clone Wars. He's got a really good personality. He's sort of proverbially on the fence. You can never tell if he's a good guy or a bad guy. The thing is, he's a pirate, and he plays both sides to his own advantage, and he just works for the highest bidder. But he's a really funny character. He's not exactly stupid, although his crew are not the brightest lightsabers in the box. And the best part about Hondo, in my opinion at least, is he carried over into Rebels, where he became an even better character. He was even funnier. He was constantly getting himself in and out of jams, and the way he showed up in the series finale of Rebels was great, so that's why he has this spot on the list. Next on the list is Duchess Satine Kryze. Kryze? I have no idea how to pronounce her last name. But the Duchess Satine of Mandalore. She's a really interesting character because she is trying to... First off, we see her, she's trying to convince the Republic, well, we don't need your help. It's an internal problem. She's trying to convince the galaxy that Mandalore is not the warlike society that it has been in the past. But she's also an avowed pacifist. She doesn't want anything to do with war. On the flip side, she's also a very capable fighter in her own right. I don't know, maybe there's something in the Mandalorian blood. Interestingly enough, she has a sister, Bo-Katan, in Death Watch, and that's the warlike organization she's trying to fight within Mandalore. One of the most interesting things about this character is not only is she a little bit of an enigma, being that she's, you know, pacifistic, also a very capable fighter. Like, she can fight if she has to, and she will defend herself. She also has some past history with Obi-Wan, and getting to see Obi-Wan, oh wow, he's not as straight and narrow as we thought. He broke the rules a little bit too. But he was able to make the decision without tearing himself apart. It really sucks the way Satine goes out, but I'm always wondering, okay, what if? Like, what if Satine had found Obi-Wan after the war? I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. If Satine had survived the Clone Wars, would, after the fall of the Jedi, would there be anything further between them, or would they just go their separate ways again? It's an interesting question to ponder, and I love asking the what-if questions. It's great fan fiction fuel. Number 3 on this list is actually a villain. That is Asajj Ventress. Ventress was apparently a former Night Sister on Dathomir, taken in by Dooku, but then later betrayed by him, so she's firmly on the dark side. But it's interesting to see, especially later in the series, after the rest of the Night Sisters are gone, that she goes her own separate way and becomes sort of independent. And seeing her team up with her previous enemies like Obi-Wan and Ahsoka is really, really interesting. I think it gives the character a lot more dimension than she would have had otherwise. Number 2 on the list is, you could probably see this coming, Ahsoka Tano. No, she's not number 1. She's not my absolute favorite character. Now, Ahsoka made this list for, I think, obvious reasons. Now, the first couple of seasons, she was sort of an annoying young teenager who was almost too talented, but then often got in over her head. She really grows in the later seasons, especially anytime from season 3 on. And she grows into a really, really cool character. Not just talented, but also learning humility, learning her own limits, passing on what she's learned to the next younger generation of Jedi. And then finally, going into Rebels, we see her in full mentor mode. Not officially a Jedi, but still embodying the best of Jedi qualities. So, yeah, I had to put Ahsoka on this list. And finally, my number 1 favorite original character in Clone Wars is, surprise, Fives. Now, we first see Fives the clone in the episode Rookies, which is in season 1. And as the series goes along, he gains more notoriety and more character, and I think he really shines the Lost missions where he is investigating the death of his friend Tup, after that implanted chip malfunctions, and Fives is willing to do anything to get to the truth and clear his friend's name, and he discovers that Palpatine's not the good guy everybody thought he was, and his whole world gets turned upside down, but he stays the course, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see him apparently lose his mind, but he's just so desperate to get the truth out there, he's willing to go to any lengths in order to do that. So, yeah, he definitely helped humanize the clones for me. I like him better than any other clone. At the end of Clone Wars, at the end of season 6, when Fives dies, I actually cried for him, and I don't usually do that for clones. He had enough dimension, enough personality, and enough redeeming qualities that I really cared for him by the end, and it hurt to see him go. So there you go, guys. Those are the Clumsy Jedi's top 5 favorite original characters in Clone Wars. If you like this video and you want to see more G-rated Star Wars content, go ahead and click that little subscription button down below. I've got projects coming, I've got Halloween decorations to do, reaction videos every Wednesday, fan art every Friday. Question of the day. Who is your absolute favorite character from Clone Wars? Go ahead and post a comment below. Now, before I go, I've got one more announcement to make, and this might be a little bit sad for some of you, but I think it's really in my best interest. At least until further notice, I'm going to be leaving Twitter. Let's just say all the negativity and the outright it's become nothing more than an internet shouting match. I wish I could turn off the trending panel, which leads me down a whole bunch of negative rabbit holes, but I can't seem to do that, which it irks me to no end, and I'm sick of the negativity and all the politics and just everything negative about Twitter. So at least until further notice, I'm going to be leaving. I've got until the end of the month to decide whether or not I want to come back and reactivate my account. But until then, I am not going to be posting anything else on Twitter. If you want to keep up with me on social media, of course, there's my YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I'm getting a lot more active on Instagram, not much related to Star Wars there, mostly spamming it with pictures of my dog. So until next time, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off. Bye, guys.
Besides, nobody likes a clumsy Jedi.
Clumsy?